Well, any mention of tropical weather is a potential concern for those who live in Shore Acres in St. Petersburg. The city has budgeted millions of dollars to prevent the flooding that the neighborhood experienced over the last few years, intensifying, of course, with what we saw in Hurricanes Milton and Helene. And new tonight, 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Annie Krall joins us from Shore Acres Live. And Annie, what is the city's plan now?
Well, that's the thing, Courtney. Once you see that heavy rain coming in, as we saw earlier this afternoon, things get a little bit dicey. Now, I was told by civic leaders and experts that if the seawall behind me, if the tide was at least a foot taller, that's when you might see that salt water coming over and, of course, onto the streets, very much impacting the streets behind us. It impacts the infrastructure because it gets underneath the pavements, and that salt water really is not good for the roads that we see over here. Now, because of that in Shore Acres, the city of St. Petersburg has decided to spend even more money on flood prevention in this area, especially near Connecticut Avenue Northeast, as well as Bayshore Boulevard Northeast, where we were today, along with Overlook Drive Northeast. Now, it's a $1 million grant that's expected to bring new box culverts, a pump station, backflow preventers, and elevated roadways to this area to try and help stop that flooding. The hope is with the improvements, things might even slow down enough that this neighborhood doesn't have to worry about the extensive damage that we saw with Helene. Now, retired engineer Mike Higgins also hopes to test a new type of backflow preventer with a project like this. It's a device that would stop high tides from pushing water out of the storm drains and onto flooded streets.
The backflow preventers now, basically, the city has to be reactive. When there's a backflow that's not working, then people complain about the street flooding. They have to go out there then and clean out the backflow preventer and make sure that it's working. As opposed to being proactive, where you actually could operate something and check and make sure it's operating.
And city leaders also want to buy a generator as well as a power system to keep pumps running and events that the power goes out, something like this. Now, of course, if you're really concerned about these streets, or if you live around this area and you want to voice your concerns, or at least just know more about what the city project timeline is actually looking like, there's going to be a civic association meeting. That's on August 17th. And if you're available, it's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's going to be at the Shore Acres Recreation Center. For now, though, reporting live in Shore Acres, Annie Krall, 10 Tampa Bay News.